Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for watching today. Today is day 7 of 15 days of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. And today, I would say this topic is the most important of all topics, lead generation. Wow, always comes up in every phone call, every coaching is always lead generation. So I'm going to give you an overview, of what some of the things that Gary Keller said in his experience of what you need to think about in lead generation every day. What is an easy formulas for to be successful in converting leads. So I'm going to give you a couple of easy things that he said in the book. Easy examples of numbers of how many times you have to contact someone to equal a sale. That's a very important question all the time is how many times, what should you be doing? So over the next 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to go over some ideas on that. But again, this is a topic that could go on and on and on. And I love this topic. I've said that before. I love everything about real estate, but lead generation is so specific to agents. And it's kind of like when I coach agents and I see their eyes light up like, wow, I never even thought of that. Or I could hear it over the phone. Like, that's a great idea of lead generation because it's so specific. I mean, there's general ways of getting it, but they're so specific on how to mold that into yourself and make it your in part of your being of lead generation. And when you see it, when something becomes easier, and it flows better in your day, it's like, wow, that's great. It's just like, that's a great idea. So here's some ideas, but of course, always reach out to me. Any of our new agents that are new to the business over the last few years, I would love to get on a coaching call with you if you're not already once a week and go over some of these lead generation ideas. So I'm going to go over some of the things that Gary said in the book that I totally agree with, and I pretty much agree with everything in the book, but I will go over some of those highlights and some of my notes here. So number one, you can never have enough good leads. Never. There's no one says, I have too many leads. That doesn't happen. You can never have enough leads. Your goal should be have too many leads. So never have enough leads. When it comes to leads, quality, there's a quality, he says, in quantity. So sometimes agent goes, I want really quality leads. Excuse me. But you need quantity before quality. I mean, you can't just keep on going like slowly into leads and go, oh, quality lead. You need quantity to get to the quality, and then you have choices. One of the other things I've heard from other real estate coaches is that the more leads you have, then you have choices. And when you get to your business, when you have choices in your business, which I mean by this, someone calls you up on the phone right now and they go, hey, I remember you gave me a card 2 years ago. You've been following up with me. I've been seeing your emails, and I really would want to start looking for houses. And the first thing, your eyes light up. Now, imagine. Now, if that happens to you now, like if you go, oh my gosh, someone calls me up on the phone, imagine how excited you're going to be. I mean, this sounds strange, that someone calls you up on the phone and you go, I'm looking to buy a house. And you're like, in your head, your first thought is, let me interview this person to see if I even want to take them on as a client because I'm so busy. How freeing is that? Like, those are choices. When you have so many leads, you get to interview them if you're going to bring them on as a client. And you're probably watching this go, oh my gosh, I can't wait till that happens to my business, or it's already happened in my business and I love it. So this is where quality or quantity gets into the quality on that. So also, Gary Keller mentioned millionaire real estate agents do massive amount of lead generation. And I'm going to tweak that as massive amount of lead generation does not mean always have to be massive amount of money. So we'll go in a little bit about that. Next point he makes, and totally agree with, consistency and frequency Consistency and frequency of your message matters more than creativity of the message. What I mean by that, and what he means by that, or my take on that, is that consistency and frequency is a little better than creativity of the message. Don't hold up messages because you're waiting on creating some type of mind-blowing content. Get it, organize it, send it out. You have to be consistent and frequent before creative. I mean, if you have all three of those things, great. It could be as simple as, say you're sending out mass emails, maybe you're sending out a text message once a month individually to your clients. Could be as simple as, hey, checking in on you, how are you doing? Let me know, I'm here for you if you need me. Done. How creative was that? Not very creative, but at least it's consistent and frequent, and you can kind of change that up. So some agents I see, they don't know what to say, and they're spending more time on trying to be creative, and they're missing the frequency and the consistency of that. Be systematic with volume. So you have to be systematic with email campaign or program, systematic in your calendar with following up with calls and texts. Any way you're connecting with your database, you've got to be systematic about it and have sheer volume to that. Also here, he comes up with 3 key areas, and I'm going to go into a little bit in detail about this. 3 key areas about lead generation: prospect and market, your database and setting it up, and 3 is systems for your database. So prospecting, setting up your database, and a system for that. So first, with the prospecting, there's a couple general areas of prospecting and marketing. Gary breaks them down in a couple different areas of people that he refers to them, or areas of the type of prospects you're looking for. One is kind of the general public, people that you haven't met. 2 is the people you have met. And then your 3 is your very close, important, close-knit people that you know that are on your side no matter what, very close past business, friends, family that will definitely use you and refer you. So he goes into some ideas, and here, if you want to grab a pen, or obviously this is going to be recorded. This is recorded on my Facebook. You could review it. Here's just some very basic things. And if you don't have the book, please write some of this down. Is that with the general public, if you want to spend some money either on email campaigns or some mailers, he comes up with for every 50 people that you have in your database, you should be marketing to them 12 times a year in email or mail format. So for every 50 people whom you market to 12 times, you should be adding to your database 50 people at a time in general marketing, once a week, once a month, somehow adding to your database. I write this out: 50 people, general people. How do I get those people? Do I general public? Do I farm an area? Do I buy an email list? Do somehow get, trying to grow your list by 50 people somehow, either weekly, monthly, yearly, as fast or slow as you want to. And you have to be reaching out to them once a month in an email, or if you want to do a mailer and spend the money on that. You have to follow up with all of those people with a phone call, at least once a year, a text. So find a way to get that database. If you're farming an area, there's lists that you can buy. You could go out and get people's addresses and phone numbers and cross-reference on a do not call list. So there's different ways to doing that. As an office, I'd be happy to talk to you one-on-one. I'm not posting this out to the public because with offices, as real estate offices, and I'll go with my little disclaimer, we have to point people, agents, to where to get this information and not give it to them. I'm just giving my little legal disclaimer, because then as an office, we're responsible for making sure the do not call list. We're not providing lists to our agents, because if they call some of this on a do not call list, we can be responsible for in your independent contract. So we kind of point you to places, websites, and things that you can buy them as an independent contractor and make sure they're cross-referenced with the do not call list. And we have to tell you about the solicitation laws and all of that. So I'm giving you general ideas. That's why I'm not giving you specifics, but if you want specifics of different websites and programs that I suggest, I'll be happy to do that one-on-one with you. And Gary does a very good job of trying to give you a real easy formula on how many people you have to contact. So, and what kind of formula you should do. So write this down. He refers to it as the MET group, the group that people that you've met, and what you should do. So if you've met someone and they're going your MET group, this is what you should be doing. First, he calls by the 8x8, that you should be reaching out to the first time you meet someone 8 times over 8 weeks. Once a week for 8 weeks. Email, text, phone call, sometimes to get your name in front of them 8 times in 8 weeks. And then they're kind of on a monthly plan for a minimum of 3 years. This is the calculation I go. So first 8 weeks, you contact them, be on the list, and then once a month for about 3 years, or he refers to as 33 times over 12 months. Or 12 times a year over 33 times over 3 years. And then if you do that, if you have 12 people, in his calculation from all his years of researching agents, if you have, for every 12 people that you've stayed in contact with for 3 years, you're going to get 2 transactions a year. So just imagine you have 120 people. I'll just do the math. 120 people that you reach out to once a month over 3-year period. 3 years from now, the math is you should be getting about 20 deals a year out of that. So that's the kind of math. 120 people, constant communication over 3 years. You should get 20 transactions a year out of that. So that's kind of the example of it takes time to build trust, build consistency, build rapport with people that you're in the market. And then my take on that is that over 3 years, that starts when you might catch people in their moving cycle. Now, like I've said many times before, every single person you talk to is a potential client someday when they move, when they buy a house or sell a house, or you might get them on a 2 deals. They're selling a house and buying a house. Average national average is 7 years. I feel, I don't have the exact statistics in our market, Ohio. We're a little bit more down home. It might be a little bit longer than that. But so they'll just say 7 years. So put everybody on a rotation. If you stay in touch with everybody over 7 years, you're going to get business out of it. It's almost impossible not to get business with that if you're reaching out to people with different ways: email, text, call, mailers, maybe stopping by. And a great real estate coach, Brian Buffini, refers to it pop buys and pop by their house. So if you combine all of that and have a great system to do that, you will get business. It's a fact. We've seen it. Gary Keller sees it. Every single major real estate coach in the business has decades of researching agents and seen it happen. Guess what? Everything Gary Keller says, and I've seen in any coach, they mention statistics and contacts. They never mention experience. They never mention expertise. They never mention a number of sales that someone's had that gets the business. Even Gary in these chapters does not explain, well, if you have 100 sales a year and you do all this, you're going to get more sales. No, it doesn't matter if you have no sales a year and you do this system of how many people you contact, you will still get the business just like someone else. There's no equate to that. if an agent that's been in the business 30 years and starts the system and someone's brand new. So that's the beauty of real estate, is that if you're starting now, you can hit that same number as someone who's been in the business 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, it doesn't matter. Again, my feeling, my experience of 28 years in real estate, the only thing agents have that have been in the business 20 years is maybe a database of people already that they should be doing this already. And if they're not doing this already, they're just on the same level any brand new agent is. Next, setting up your database. You need the heart of your database is the program that you use. And the program you use has to be something that is simple. There's many different contact management systems. There's your office, like Century 21. We have a great contact management system. I have agents that are just using iPhones and spreadsheets. I mean, that's not the greatest thing, but at least it's a database. You could use Google. I really love to see agents using Google. The reason why again, my personal opinion is Google, because I don't think Google's going away. So Google is there. It's free. You can move it from place to place. You got calendar, you've got spreadsheets, you've got organizational tools, you got everything you need to go, and it's free. And it's all there. So, but the bottom line is there's great real estate ones that are already there where they have templates and spreadsheets and ideas and marketing plans. One of them is Top Producer, one of is Market Leader. There's Boomtown. There's so many different ones. I don't want to be like the one person promoting something out there, but there's so many ones. You got to do a little bit of research and see the one that's best for you. But the one thing also you got to do is make sure you use it, and then and make sure you're going to stick with it. So if it's a cost, you got to make sure that I have to make sure over the next X amount of years or for the rest of my career, I'm going to be using that system. And then of course, most of them already are, but make sure they're easily exportable. And the hard part is, this is the number one hard part that I've noticed over my business is in lead generation is when it exports, what happened to all the notes and things that are in there. So some systems export all the name information there, but you might have in a little note category of every time you talk to them, you have a list of what's been happening, how much you're following up with them, and that might not export. And then you're kind of starting from scratch with everybody in your database again. So, but don't let this hold you up. Spend some few weeks, months, whatever, not too long, and researching what database is best for you and something that you're going to stick with that's going to be around for a while. So, so you have to set up a database. The heart of any lead generation is a great system that's easy for you to use, that has all the information, that you're going to consistently use it, and it's not hard for you to use. If you're spending more time entering data and rearranging the system every day and not doing the actual following up, that's hard to do. Next system and last part for today is systematically market to your database. Basically, have a marketing plan and this is kind of, if you want to write this down, this is kind of my take on what Gary says, and I'm taking bits and pieces that I like from other coaches, is that you have to put them into categories of these A, B, C, D categories of all of your database. Also in those categories, you got to figure out how to say, these are the people that I'm going to contact once a week, once a month, once a year, once a quarter. You got to put all of these people on. These are people I'm going to text, I'm going to call, I'm going to they're just general public people that are going to be on my email list. These are people on my farm list. So everybody, you have to have some type of organization of organizing all those people, putting it into your calendar of when you're going to call, when you're going to text, when you're going to email, all of these people. So it's a daily job of a list of who you're going to be doing this with. And some of those real estate programs and contact databases and real estate specific ones, already have that in there. You can put in a contact, and then you can set up a whole marketing plan for that contact, and it pops up every day. So there's great systems that you can use that will organize your day all of the time. Or you could even go all the way back to simple, and this is what I've had a lot of agents do, at least to start before they research, is that put it in your calendar. Have a new date, have a client or a new person you put in your database, put it in your phone, put it as a contact, put it in as an appointment, and how often do you want to follow up with them? Once a week, put it in. Appointment, once a week, once a month, and you can change that. So I have some agents that I coach that are simply in that kind of simple organization for now until they figure out the database and the thing that they want to use overall for the rest of their career. So you got to start somewhere. So have a system, and make sure that you use the database and use a system that you're going to be using. So those are the three things, the basic things that Gary talks about in the book in lead generation. But this is where I'm going to add to all of that, is that there, and stress again, is numbers. You gotta have a big database as much as you can, as much as you want to put in there without spending too much money if you're on mailers or things like that. But you have to have a big database. Make sure your day, you don't every day should have so many calls that you have to make that you have to reschedule them, calls, texts, emails. If you're sitting there every day going, I don't have enough calls to make, I don't have enough texts to make and follow up with people, or my email list is very low with the people, or very little on that, you got to figure out ways how to add that. This is my take on it. That's specific to you and how you want to grow that database. And I earlier said you should have groups of 50, so you're in the thousands. Every mega real estate agent, mega team has thousands and thousands of people that are in their database in categories of who they're calling often, who they're getting referrals from, who they're sending, who's in their holiday card list, who's in their birthday card list. There's so many different ways to connect with people. You've got to figure out what's easiest for you, cost effective for you, consistent and persistent for you. And then that's personal to you and the content and things that you're going to be sending out. So if you really sincerely, anybody, any agent, or especially our agents, if you want to get on a weekly call, if you want to get on a coaching call each week to follow up on what you're doing to build your database at least once a week, if you want to sit down for a half hour and talk on the phone and go over ideas on what kind of programs to use and personalize it to you, I'm happy to do that. I do that for many, 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 many agents every year and over the career. It's something that I love to do because it's just eye-opening when you come across some of these ideas, especially the new agents in real estate, especially that if you're a new agent in real estate and new and you're owning your own business. It's a beautiful thing of being an entrepreneur, is building a database, lead generation, and building your business. It's so fun to do, and when it works quickly and you see the results from it, it's even better. So that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow at 11. Tomorrow we're going to go over the organizational method, and this is going to be more on the side of hiring help, referring business to other agents when you get too busy. We're going to go over a little bit of that tomorrow at 11. So that's it. Have a wonderful day and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.